Hello, it's me again. Telephone to the telephone. And the voice is not the best. The pick is the ass. Yeah, I'm a runaway. Oh my gosh, guys, before I even get started. Hello, hi guys, welcome back to In My Voice Pod. No. Hello guys, welcome to another episode of In My Voice with Royal Owl. You know what it is, you know the vibes, you know what it is, you know the vibe. What? Anyways, oh my gosh, quick story about me. I used to be so obsessed with like UK music. I wanted to be a UK girl bad when I was in high school because I used to watch like Nella Rose and that, and I still love her, but I loved Nella's videos down, and she made me, okay, simple story time, but like, how is it that I live in Canada, and I thought my uni experience was going to be the same thing as Nella? That was too funny, because I was thinking when I go to uni, yeah, I'm going to make all these friends, and we're going to do all these YouTube videos, and it's just going to be vibes, and when I tell you, I entered that uni, it was just suffering. Studying for the most part, like, and it's not necessarily that, but just the vibes of the people. It's not the UK vibe. Like, Canadians have their own vibe, and it's not giving UK vibe. And it was just really funny. But yeah, at one point I was really obsessed with UK music. Like, I know the Kojo Funds, the Notes, the Young Banes, the Abracadabra, the even drill music. At one point I was very much a driller. Do you guys think I was a driller? I was very much a driller.
A driller is kind of crazy to say.
Whoa. Okay, maybe not that. But anyways, no, I was just obsessed with UK vibes, and I just wanted to be a UK girl bad. Till this day, I want to do my makeup like them, but it don't work. But it's okay. I'm gonna just keep doing me because I'm a baddie regardless. Yeah. Okay, no. So, hi guys, are you excited for another episode of In My Voice? Are you excited about it back? Is giving consistent queen. Hey, I'm even shocked myself because these things are not cheap, eh? You want to start a podcast, you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay your blood, sweat, and tears. No, you're actually gonna pay in terms of like funds and just time and dealing with people, and like, girl, that's even brings me to like my first, like my introduction topic, like how I've been finding podding so far. You know what? I love it. Again, I told you guys I'm a yapper. I actually love podding, but I don't like the background of dealing with people. Like obviously I told you guys in the last episode what happened with the old studio. So yeah, I don't necessarily like that, but and I don't like the like having to find time at this point in time, just because again, I'm a 9-to-5 girly. My 9-to-5 low-key comes first, and then this comes after for now. But maybe this gonna switch one day. Okay. But no, I love podding. I think genuinely I found what I really wanted to do. Because I've always, wanted to do social media, but I just think I never found my lane. But I think now it's what I want to do. I am really enjoying it so far. Like, but hey, if it changes, I'm sorry. If it changes in two years, I'm done. I don't know. I'm sorry, but yeah. Also, disclaimer. I was just thinking about it when I was editing my other video. Hey, before you people come and bring up clips from 2 years ago and I'm blown, whatever I say, please, I can change my mind like this. So I say something on one episode, the next episode I can say something different. Don't come for me, please. I'm a 24-year-old. My mindset does change. And hey, even when I'm 30s, my mindset does change about something. If you use a clip and say, ain't that you? It was me, but I've changed. So yeah, that's just a quick disclaimer, because the way the internet be, they just like, they like to be, is this you to people? And I'm just like, I'm sorry, but I said what I said, but I didn't say it. I don't say it anymore. But no. Anyways, how are you guys feeling? How was your week? Let me know in the comments. And give me feedback. I would love to hear what you guys like about the podcast and what you don't like about the podcast. Now, don't be rude though. Don't be rude, but Let me know what you guys like about the podcast. You, Mr. D, what do you like about the podcast? Because he is my director. He's been here from the beginning. Obviously, it's only 3 episodes, but just still, what do you like about the podcast so far?
It's young, it's fresh, relatable.
Is it? What's relatable?
You talk about all the news. You give your own fresh perspective on it, you know what I mean? And I think that's what makes it very unique. And that's what I think people would like. Yeah.
I'm not going to say what I like about podcasts yet. I want to see what you guys like about the podcast in the comments or on Spotify. I think Spotify, you can do comments now, so you guys get one that, before I get into what's tea bestie, make sure you give the podcast 5, even before finishing the episode, give it 5 stars. On YouTube, like it. Comment before finishing the episode. Just say, wow, your glasses lovely, your hair lovely, the studio lovely, everything lovely. Just be nice, you know? But okay, cool. Let's get into what's tea bestie, again, where we discuss trending topics and hot takes that I've seen on the timeline, on Instagram, on TikTok, and just whatever I want to be discussing, because I'm a yapper for real. Today's what's tea. So basically, a Nigerian woman came on what's it called? A Nigerian woman came on Twitter, X, before Elon Musk come and carry me, and said her dad woke her up early to make a cup of tea, which is inconsiderate, basically. Honestly, there are just some things with people that's like, just because it's Nigerian culture doesn't mean it's right? And I'm not saying what the dad did is wrong. However, you woke me up early to make you a cup of tea. Come on, that would make me mad as well. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I was already awake and moving around in the house, yeah, of course you can ask me, hey, can you make me a cup of tea? But you woke me up because either one, you can't make the cup of tea, which is insane. Like, what do you mean? And two, you just wanted to wake me up because you're the man of the house. I just think, honestly, Nigerian culture, everybody should be able to do stuff in the kitchen. Like, I just feel like that whole Nigerian culture of raising women to be in the kitchen and men not necessarily, that's gonna stop with me. That is gonna stop with me because, yeah, I just feel like, I think it's a little crazy that you woke her up to make tea. I agree it is inconsiderate. I'm not gonna say it's not, but and for the people that are saying it's not, it's like, I think it's a little bit inconsiderate though. But what do you think, Mr. D? Do you think it's inconsiderate that, the dad woke her up to make tea? And would you do that? You're a man and stuff.
Would I wake up my daughter for tea?
Mm-hmm. When you have a daughter.
When I have a daughter.
Because he don't have a daughter, please.
But no, I don't think I would do that.
Okay, so do you think it's inconsiderate though?
I mean, yeah, thinking new age wise, the new age mindset, it is inconsiderate. But
not even new age mindset. To me, it's just more of logical thinking. What do you mean?
Honestly,
new age?
Okay, fair. But I'm just trying to see why the dad would do that. That's what I'm trying to understand as well.
Because I said either one, he don't know how to make tea, or two, he just wanted to because he's the man of the house and he can do whatever he wants.
Because there's no way he doesn't know how to make tea.
You'd be surprised. Some people don't know how to boil water, fam, because they're never in the kitchen.
Water, tea bag, milk, sugar, mix it together.
I'm literally telling you, a lot of people.
Crazy.
Sorry, Mr. D is very Canadian. Mr. D doesn't know that in Nigeria, some men don't actually enter the kitchen at all. They don't know where anything is. They don't know how to do anything. So I'm not. It's really sad that they don't know how to do it. But I'm not shocked that the dad would not know how to make tea. I'm actually not that shocked because they're never in the kitchen. They never have to be in there. But yeah.
Yeah. So then, I think it's very inconsiderate.
Yeah, I don't know. So to me, it's not new age thinking. It's just everybody. Just basic stuff. Even I know. I'm sorry, I'm engaging in black conversation again. Even just basic stuff. I'm not let me just give my own opinion about what my household is gonna have. Okay, this is my household, not yours. Mine. Cool. I have already low-key accepted that I'm gonna be the one doing the majority of the cooking, right? And I don't really necessarily have a problem with that. Me. Now, if you do have a problem, that's your own. However, if you're gonna wait for me to come home before you can eat, oh, you're gonna wait there for years because I'm not gonna do it. Again, like I said in my first episode, when you tell me to do something, that's when I don't do it. I will literally not do it. So, you need to know how. And also, I genuinely believe that everybody should be able to make what they like to eat. So, if you're a man and you like to eat all those soups, Nigerian soups, you should know how to make it. Am I saying you're gonna make it when you get married all the time? No. But you like the soup. You need to know how to make it. So everybody should know how to make what they like to eat. And also basic stuff, because when you have children, what are you gonna do when the woman is not there? What are you gonna do? You're gonna wait till you're gonna have her cook a whole storm before she goes? Or what if the children, obviously children can be fasting? No, I don't want that. What are you gonna do? Mr. D, do you know how to cook?
Yeah.
Cap.
That's kind of crazy. I do know how to cook.
Yeah.
I do know how to cook.
Okay, what do you know how to cook?
I can make steak, potatoes, add a little zucchini on the side, some veggies, put a nice little sauce on that steak.
Chef.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
My mom eats good, don't worry.
Okay, period. But okay, Mr. D is Ghanaian. Do you know how to make any dishes from Ghana?
I have made some jollof, some wache.
Are they good?
I've helped prepare banku.
What's that help prepare?
I've helped prepare banku. Yeah, because at the end of the day, you know, I gotta be the one to like stir the pot. You know, when you have
Yeah, because you know you're the muscles.
Exactly. So I gotta stir the pot.
Okay, so when you have a wife or when you're married, who's gonna do more of the cooking? Like, are you gonna cook or nah?
Listen, I don't mind splitting it up. But see, for whatever job I'm doing, right, I just know that I'll be very busy. So I already have it in my mind to like possibly just get a chef that can.
Oh, period.
But
good thing you did say your wife, because what if she also has a very high demanding job?
No. For me, I don't think I'd ever allow my wife to do something she doesn't want to do. She told me she doesn't want to cook, so no problem. Hey,
God, who doesn't want a Mr. D? I'm screaming, but no, that's cute. Yeah, I'm just sorry. This engagement's in black conversation. I'm sorry, but hey, y'all like it and we're going to talk about it. You know? Anyways, next, what's tea? So, somebody on Twitter said, sorry, X, man. I still call it Twitter, but girl, it's X. If you call it Twitter, is Elon Musk gonna like sue you or something? I don't know. Like,
no.
Because why do people be like, oh my god, no X? Like, it's Twitter.
I've seen people say Twitter. On Twitter. I said Twitter, but I've seen people say Twitter on X. Yeah, I don't know. I still say Twitter. But yeah. Someone tweeted, many Nigerians grew up in environments, which kind of relates to the topic, sorry, that we were talking about previously. But someone tweeted, many Nigerians grew up in environments where obedience was enforced over independent thought. This is why many struggle with critical thinking, self-advocacy, and the courage to challenge authority. Is why we are here today. Basically, it's why Nigeria is there today. Now, my thoughts on this. I agree 100%. Even just down to outside of the family, when you go to school, you ask the teacher a question, he'll say, are you challenging my authority? Like they will take it as disrespect. You ask them a question, they don't know the answer. Like the way Nigerian culture, and again, just because something is culture doesn't mean it's right. The way Nigerian culture is study, spit it out. Study, spit it out. Even the fact that because obviously I went to boarding school in Nigeria, I went to a girls' boarding school. And even just the way exams are set, the people, first of all, it's either you're cramming like crazy, you're getting past questions and you already know that the questions are going to be the exact same, or the teacher will give you pointer questions, but those are the exam questions. And it's like there's no critical thinking. And when I moved here, that's actually something, because I moved here in grade 9, I got to about grade 11. Because with grade 9 and 10, we kind of do stuff I did in Nigeria. But grade 11, they really start challenging you, especially in the English classes, even math a little bit. It's not exactly what's in the textbooks that you're going to see in your tests and exams. And obviously moving to uni, it's a challenge to think critically and say, okay, yes, we learned this, but can you apply it in different scenarios, right? Whereas I feel like in Nigeria, in school, they just cram and spit it out. There's no critical thinking there. And I genuinely agree. I think that's why Nigeria is one of the reasons, not the only reason, but it's one of the reasons Nigeria is where it's at. And okay, even in the family environment, it's like you tell your mom, I don't, you ask them why, they'll be like, why are you asking me why, and it's like, I'm a child, I'm supposed to be curious. That's the whole point of being a child, right?
and you tell them, oh no, I disagree, but how can you disagree with me when you're a bit older? Like, it's just a lot of like, you're just being obedient rather than critically thinking about things. And that's why, again, things that happen, it's like, okay, yes, this culture, but does it make sense? Is this right? Nobody's thinking like that, especially the older generation. It's just, that's how it is. That's what it's gonna be. You know what I mean? Like, I just think it's kind of but my point is, so Nigerian schools especially, I don't know about family environments, I can't really tell you. In Nigerian schools, you need to update the curriculum in terms of like, the exams cannot just be copy and paste from what it was 3 years ago, 2 years ago. It cannot just be what's in the know. Also, the teacher should know what they're talking about. I can't ask my teacher a question and he can't answer it. Like, that's kind of insane. Like, he can't, like, he has to open the textbook to give me an answer. You are the teacher. You should know a bit about the subject. If I ask you a question, if you've been teaching it for years, you should know. And you should also, another thing that they do, and I've heard, and even in university in Nigeria, is like, if you cannot explain something to me, or if you cannot explain something to a 5-year-old, then you don't know the topic. So if you're explaining to me and I don't get it, and everyone in class doesn't get it, it tells on your teaching. It doesn't tell on the students if students cannot get it. But anyways, yeah, I think in all aspects, like, we need to critically think as a nation in Nigeria, and just be like, okay, is this making sense again? Is this right? Is this something that, just critically think through decisions, you know, and even up to politics. It's like, none of these people I don't think are thinking about their consequences of their actions. It's like, what's going to happen after this? Or when they're making policies, okay, you're making this policy for this, but how does this affect this? So like, when they made, I think, bikes banned in Nigeria, okay, but what was the solution? You just banned them. I don't know if they're banned now, but this was like 2 years ago. They had a whole thing in Lagos, like, where they banned bikes. It's like, okay, you're banning them, but what's the solution? Because you have freaking millions of people in Lagos that don't have a car because the economy is shit. They cannot buy a car. So what's the solution? Because buses are not fast enough. Like, what is the solution? Nobody's critically thinking. They're just like, oh yeah, let's ban bikes because they're obviously like a little crazy. Fine. But what is the solution? How are you helping? So take it a step further. How is this solving this specific issue, right? So yeah, I just think that, like, as a nation, guys, in schools, let's start thinking, you know? Let's start thinking. Let's start using our brains a little bit more. But yeah, what about you? When you're in Canada, have you found that, like, because obviously Mr. D also moved from Ghana. I mean, he's basically Canadian. But did you find that you had to critically think a lot here more than what would you think what you had in Ghana? Or what you had in Ghana?
Like, are you talking about school-wise?
Yeah.
Like, which is harder?
No, just, oh, actually, let's forget school. Like, family, right? Do you find that, because this topic was more about Nigerians. So do you find that, like, in your family, you're more taught to be obedient and actually have your own independent thought and, like, critically think through things?
Yeah, so being the oldest, obviously, I've had to, like, the household I was raised in was kind of raised. It was a Ghanaian household, an African household. It wasn't really a Canadian household I was being raised. So yeah, like, I was taught to be obedient, don't talk back. I can't fully say how I feel because that's looked at as disrespect, you know.
Yeah.
But I think obviously getting older, I've been able to kind of be that little advocate for my little brothers and, like, remind my parents that, hey, like, yeah, like, obviously they shouldn't be disrespectful to you, but them talking back isn't disrespectful. It's just them trying to understand and communicate with you and understand like your point of view, where you're coming from. Yeah. So it's all
about tone, right? It's not necessarily like, yes, you're saying something back to me, but if I'm asking a question like, oh, why is this happening? Or like, why did you do that? As a child, it's like, that's not being disrespectful. They're just trying to understand why certain things are the way because you're saying this is how you're supposed to be. They're just trying to understand. Anyways, my point is, guys, Nigerian culture, African culture, let's just let children think. Let's let people think critically about things. Yeah, even in the workplace, I just find also that people cannot say certain things to their bosses in Nigeria, from what I've heard. But I also found that I struggled with that when I started going into the workplace and even in school a little bit. I just always had this thing in my head that, like, anyone older than me and more senior than me in any role is right, and I have nothing to say to them. Like, that really affected my work, and it's literally low-key still affecting, but like now I'm trying to like no, just because I have a thought about something, I have a different opinion, obviously you say it in a respectful way, but that doesn't mean I'm being disrespectful to them. I'm just all thinking and like thinking about the solution for this task, you know what I mean? So I had to figure out a way to just break out of this knowledge of like not thinking independently, right? So if your boss tells you something that, okay, well, I agree with that, but I also think that this should be this way, or I think that we could also go in this kind of direction. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. You do want people that work for you to also be thinking, because they're the ones that would obviously maybe bring the solutions. But yeah, that's something I've had to work on, and I'm still working on, to be like, okay, just because they're, you know, a manager or senior doesn't mean I can't necessarily give my opinion, or doesn't mean they're always right. I can say, hey, I don't think that's necessary, especially if you know you're the one that has to be working on, because managers sometimes they just kind of oversee things. That's in a broad way, that's their role, right? And you're the one as a junior staff, you're actually doing the work. So if they've actually not done the work, you can give them more insight as to actually what's being done. And like, yeah, so basically critical thinking is good, is important, it's good. Don't let anyone shame you or say no. Don't listen. Keep thinking, you know what I mean? But yeah. So let's get into In My Voice again, where we rant about anything that I want to talk about. Topic of the day. I find that I slur my words a lot. I need to stop doing that. But hey, I'm just getting used to talking on a mic. I love this mic setup. Girl, when I tell you I'm loving talking, I love it. But anyways, sorry. Let's get into In My Voice, which is a rant about anything that I want to rant about, or any subject I want to rant about. But today is about boarding schools in Nigeria. I know I've been talking about Nigeria a lot, but again, I'm Nigerian. I have a lot to say about obviously growing up in Nigeria and stuff. And I'll have another episode with my sister about that. But anyways, the issues and just things that don't make sense to me in boarding schools in Nigeria. And just, again, I went to boarding school from GS1 to GS3 in an all-girls school in Lagos. It's one of the bigger all-girls schools. I'm not going to say the name, but it's not the day one. It's not the day school. It's the other one, that was in Ikeja. But so I went to that school for GS1 to GS3. And I just had a lot of issues. And I found like when you speak to people that went to boarding school in Nigeria, they kind of have similar issues with boarding school. But hey, I'm just going to say my take on this. So my first issue that I had was boarding school made basic necessities feel like luxury. Now, I went to all-girls school. It was not the cheapest. It was kind of expensive. But I just found that, like, for example, we didn't have hot water often. And I just found that, like, if you have hot water, that's a privilege. That's like, oh, yeah, like, the basis is cold water, which is insane. I don't think cold water, and I know obviously people that are non-Nigerian don't live in hot countries. They're like, why are you showering with hot water when it's hot? Bro, everybody showers with hot water even if it's hot. Like, in Nigeria, okay, not everyone, but a lot of people do that. Like, that's normal. And I just feel like, why is it that, like, hot water or just basic stuff like eating, like, I don't know, but like just basic stuff that like should not be treated as a luxury are treated like a luxury. I want hot water, like that should be normal. I need water to shower, not even hot water, just water to shower, that should be normal. Why am I going outside to fetch in a bucket and I'm paying freaking 10 million naira? That woman, if you know the school I went to and the principal, I did not like her at all. Like, I was just like, even at a young age, because I was speaking like 10 to 13 when I was in that school, and at a young age, I just knew that this is not right. Like, this is just not something that should be. Like, like, I just feel like not having basic stuff is low-key suffering. Like, you're literally making me suffer because, you can't provide everything. But yes, I understand that. You can't provide everything, but you can't provide basic necessities. And I know you can. You're just taking the money, you're thieving the money. Like, you're thieving it. Like, you need to provide these things. And I just think, like, that should not be normal. Again, just because something is culture doesn't mean that, like, it's okay. Just because your parents has to go through this, or that's how Nigerian schools are, it should not be okay. Like, water should be a normal thing that students should have. And because the reason I find it so insane is because the oldest people in Nigerian secondary schools are usually, like, 16, 17. That's a baby. Like, those... Sorry guys, we had technical difficulties, but thank God we caught it before, some people record and they wouldn't have video for it. Like, thank God we actually caught, because if this thing was not showing, I wouldn't know. Because I literally saw it because it said battery exhausted. Anyways, technical difficulties. But anyways, again, like, these children are like 17 max. Like, they're children. What do you mean that they can't shower with hot water? What do you mean they don't have water to shower? What do you mean there's no water to drink? What do you mean, bruh? What do you mean that they can't iron their clothes? Like, basic necessities should not be treated as luxury. Nigerian secondary schools, even maybe universities, but I don't know much about universities, so I'm not going to speak on that. But secondary schools, like, come on, like, just because something is culture doesn't mean it's right. Let's do better for our children, you know? The second point I had is not allowing provisions, but not providing the meals. So, not every school was like this, but my school specifically, they didn't allow us to bring provisions into school. Fine. But what I found really frustrating, even at a young age, but obviously now that I'm older, is that you're not allowing me to bring provisions, but you're not giving me snacks. So my parents are paying millions of naira. Cool, okay. And they give us breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Fine. However, we're expected to use our own money to buy our snacks, like our short breaks and our talk shop. Talk shop is basically like where you can buy snacks in Nigeria. And I found that, like, in other schools where they didn't allow provisions, they provided those snacks with them, which I think should be the norm, because, again, at the end of the day, my parents are paying this amount of money. So it's like, why are they expected to give me extra money still? Like, they literally are paying for what then? Like, what are the basic necessities may not have? Food may not have. So what exactly? Like, why are you expecting them to give me money? Like, snacks should be part of the meals if you're not allowing me to bring provision because you said no. But then, what if my parents are, like, not the richest and they can only afford to pay my school fee and they can't give me money? I'm just supposed to starve? Because also in Nigeria, you wake up so early and you go to bed so late. You wake up so early, you have your breakfast, before you have your lunch, it's 2 p.m. But you've been awake for like 5-6 hours. And before you have your dinner, it's like 7 p.m. And your children are hungry, you know what I mean? Like, we're children, right? But you're expecting them to just have money or have their parents give them money to buy snacks, which is, like, interesting. Like, I just found that really frustrating when I was in secondary school. It's just like, why? Like, if you want to go buy snacks, like, I'm not saying those things shouldn't exist, but that should just be like, oh, if you're, like, not satisfied with what they're giving you. So if they give us breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner and nightcap, because that's what a lot of, like, my sister's school had that, and that's fine. Now if you still want extra food after that, that's different, then sure. But I just feel like the fact that you're saying basically you're relying on that for children not to go hungry, because, again, 3 meals a day, especially in Nigeria where you're working under the sun, you're doing everything, you go to bed late, you're studying, those things take a lot of energy, and as a child you want to eat very often. So it's like the fact that, like, you expect parents to still give their children money just to eat is crazy. Like, again, when I catch that woman that owns that school, if you know her, I don't know what to do. But bruh, like, at my school, I used to be so frustrated about that. And it go, like, some people don't have, like, would not have, obviously some people have more money than others, and it's just like, okay, but we're all paying the same fees. Why should I still bring money to the school to buy food? No way. Like, I just feel like that's so annoying. Like, I find that's, like, a big issue. Like, you should feed the kids. Feed the kids, man. Feed the kids. Anyways, and the last thing I've heard around. Before I get to the last thing, I could probably do more later if you guys like this kind of topic, but I could probably talk about this for ages. But I'm gonna talk about just one more. I find that some secondary schools allow their teachers to beat the kids in school. In my school, I honestly, it's a vague memory right now. I can't remember if this was allowed. I do remember being beat once. So I guess they did allow it because it's like nobody was doing anything, which I think is insane. Because, one, these people don't know your children from anywhere. They might genuinely hate you and your children. They don't have the love that you would have. So even if Nigerian parents will say, oh, I'm beating because I have love for you, whatever, cool. Not cool, but that's your business. But these people are adults that, first of all, might not be able to control their emotions given the way Nigerian economy is. They might be angry at you because they know that your parents, I don't know, they don't have the same love. They might not even love your children, honestly. They're just doing it for money. But the fact that, like, again, these people are not beating, like, they don't love your children. They're not beating them because they love them or, like, whatever people say. And they're allowed to beat children for what? And because, again, the lack of critical thinking in Nigeria, people just beat because they're angry. People just beat people or beat children because they asked a question. Or people just because they told you, I don't understand something. Like, there is no real reason, I think, to beat a child. And they just do it. People beat children because they don't have in my school, I think that's one of the reasons people got beat, because they didn't have a song of praise. If you guys remember what song of praise is, it's basically like the hymn book you use in assembly. People beat them because they don't have it. That's insane. Like I think that's mental, in like, I don't know, it's crazy. Because what do you mean because this child did not have a booklet that you beat them? Like, come on. Like, I just think like that's just like, oh my gosh. Like, there's just so many things I'm just like, with Nigerian secondary schools, I'm just like, oh. Man, I just think. Anyways, Mr. D, what do you think about all these things? I know Mr. D didn't go to school in Nigeria, like in Africa. He's Canadian. I know I've said this in one episode, but yeah. But I want to know what someone that obviously didn't experience any of these like things. What do you think about them?
What's it called? No, yeah, like obviously, like here, like you don't really think about things like that unless like you're very, very, very much like impoverished and like, you know, on social welfare and stuff like that. Like, you don't necessarily get to think about things like, oh, I didn't have hot water to shower today, or I have to go here to get water to shower. Like, you don't have to really think about over here.
Yeah.
Which is why I think here, like sometimes they take for granted the luxuries that they do have.
But are those luxuries though?
No, like they're basic necessities, you know.
That's my point. I don't think those things should be treated as luxuries.
They shouldn't. They really shouldn't. They're basic necessities that everybody should have.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, like people tend to not give those basic necessities, and it's becoming a luxury.
Yeah. Another thing I even thought about now that Nigerian schools, I don't know about all Nigerian schools, but my all-girls school allowed this. Like, male teachers were allowed to beat children. Like, I think somebody did beat me one time, which I think is insane, because first of all, adults can be very weird, and I think that happened in my school. Like, it's not funny, but it's like, it's trauma funny, and it's but like, because no, I think they beat my bum, but like, because I think it's either I forgot my SOP, or my cause the pinafores was short, and I think mine was, because I remember, because I knew I was coming to Canada, I was like, I'm not buying a new one, but I low-key outgrew the one I had, because I was getting taller, so it was short. I'm not gonna say it wasn't short, but maybe they beat me. They beat my mom. They beat me. And I just felt like, why are the male teachers allowed to do that? Like, I'm not saying, okay, I don't know if they're allowed or it just happened once. I can't remember. But if it was allowed, like, that's crazy. Like, teacher, first of all, beating, crazy. But the fact, okay, beating is allowed, but you're allowing in an all-girls school the men to beat women, when we know that men first are weird. But Nigerian men can be so disgusting. That is insane.
Did you tell your mom?
I don't think I did. That's the thing. Another thing with Nigerian schools, I feel like a lot of people or a lot of children don't end up telling their parents things that happen in the school because, one, parents don't listen. And that's another. Parents, please listen to your child. If they're, I know, obviously, I really understand from a parent's point of view, oh, your children might just be like, oh, I don't like this school because maybe it's hard or something. But if they're genuinely telling you, this one person is doing this to me, this one person is bullying me, this happened, please listen to your children. Because I find that children don't tell their parents, because when they know they're not going to listen, nothing's going to happen. Or two, the parents are not the one, because they're not going to take them out of the school. The parents are not the ones in the school. So if I report to you, you do something, okay, you tell the principal, okay, in your face, the parents face they're doing something, but you're going to leave, and it's going to be me that's going to suffer. So it's like, if I'm going to tell you something, you're going to report and do something, you better be taking me out of that school. So that's my point. I feel like a lot of Nigerian kids, I don't know about other countries, but at least for Nigerian kids, they don't end up telling their parents things because I know you don't listen, and you will think it's always my fault and blame me as the child, which is insane. Because first of all, for the most part, children are not just gonna lie that someone did this to them. Because what do they have to gain? That's my point. Like, what do children have to gain? If you're lying that someone did this to them, like, what do they have to gain? Especially if it's not like children. Like, if they say, oh, another child did this to me, maybe that sometimes they will lie. But if a child said, this teacher did this to me, I find that like, they don't have anything to gain for that. So why would they just randomly say that? And even if they randomly do, okay, look into it. Listen to them. Listen to your children and say, okay, I'm listening. I'm going to do something about it. If you're going to do something about it, especially with something really bad, you got to take them out of the school. I'm sorry, because if you're going to keep them there, they're going to suffer like mad. They're going to suffer like mad. So yeah, I just found that like a lot of people don't say. And that's probably why I never told my mom. Not because, my mom was going to do something, but she wasn't going to take me out of the school if I wasn't leaving to Canada. But like, for the most part, I don't think she was going to take me out of the school. So I think that's probably, I was just like, nah, it's okay. But yeah, I just find that a lot of people a lot of Nigerian kids in boarding school just don't say anything, which is sad. And we gotta do better. Again, I think the motto for this episode, just because something is culture doesn't make it right, because there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in Nigeria and just like, it ain't right. Anyways, that was my rant, man. I feel like I've been talking for a long time. Things like this are very passionate to me. If you don't know me, things like this are very passionate to me. But anyways, the next segment, I usually have off the cuff where we talk about usually have off the cuff, which is like a segment that's not consistent on the show, and it's just random stuff that I want to do. So like it could be dilemmas, it could be games, it could be whatever I want it to be. But this week there is no off the cuff, boo-hoo, because I was being lazy and I was not in the mood to figure out some creative idea. Like my brain was going through a lot this week in terms of like work and stuff, and I was just being lazy, man. Like I just said, man, I can't do it, so I didn't do it. But catch us next episode for an off the cuff. I promise there's gonna be something next episode. But yeah, that's it for this. That's it for today's episode of In My Voice Pod. If you're listening on any podcast platform, make sure to give the episode 5 stars. And again, if you not like the episode, then not rate it. If you like it, give it 5 stars. And if you don't want to give it 5 stars, keep it to yourself. Keep it to your friends. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you share. Yeah, man, I'm trying to chase my dreams, guys. Support Black businesses. But yeah, I'm gonna catch you, love you, and leave you guys. And that's it. Bye.